During our live stream sessions, I've received a ton of comments or questions related to Shopify development. Questions like, is Shopify development still worth doing in 2025? As a beginner, how would you learn Shopify development in 2025? Are you okay? So let's talk about it. How to learn Shopify development as a beginner in 2025. Now, Shopify development can be divided into three categories. First is Shopify app development, of course. Second is Shopify theme development. And third one is storefront development. Now, Shopify app development allows developers to extend the core functionality of Shopify. So for example, they can develop a Shopify app that allows merchants to generate random set of products taken from, an AI or a third-party API. Shopify theme development, however, is where you build, of course, a Shopify theme. This is what you see in the browser when you visit an online store. You will see a hero section, you will see a navigational bar, which is also a section, you will see blocks of paragraphs. So those are the components that you'll most likely build when you become a Shopify theme developer. And the third category is storefront development. Storefront development allows developers to develop an online store that is hosted outside of Shopify. Now let me just clarify. The front end is hosted outside of Shopify, and you will treat Shopify as the back end to get the products, the metadata, the collections, the pages, the articles, etc. But your front end is somewhere else. That's why this is also called as headless e-commerce, because your front end and back end are separated. Now the next question is, what are the things that you need to learn first before Shopify development? Now, since Shopify development falls under the broader category of web development, specifically e-commerce web development, you will need to learn the following technologies. First, HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. With this knowledge, you'll be able to create components, sections, pages, templates that are beautiful and can be used not just in Shopify apps, but also Shopify themes. The next one is Shopify Liquid. Shopify Liquid is a templating language that allows developers to create dynamic content. Say for example, thanks to HTML, CSS, and JavaScript that you learned earlier, you were able to create a page like this. But the problem with this page is that it's a static page, meaning its content doesn't change. But thanks to Shopify Liquid, you're able to make changes into this page thanks to Liquid's objects, Liquid tags, and filters. You can learn more about Shopify Liquid by watching this video right here. The next thing that you need to learn is API. Now, what is API? API stands for Application Programming Interface, or basically computers talking to each other. You will see this everywhere. In fact, everything that you do online works because of APIs. For example, you have your phone. Started writing emails to your friend. Who does that? And then you send. Basically, your message will be sent to an API, and then API will check if everything is good. If it's good, it will send it to your recipient. That is an example of API. Now, the reason why you would want to learn this is that if you want to become a Shopify app developer, you will deal with Shopify's API most of the time. So understanding the basics of APIs will help you learn Shopify's API much faster. And last but not the least, you should have the following to start your journey as a Shopify developer. First is, of course, a code editor like VS Code or, Notepad if you're that hardcore. And next is browsers. It's important to have browsers because you would have to test your Shopify apps or themes in different browsers. Last but not least, of course, Shopify CLI. And finally, let's ask the question, how to learn Shopify development in 2025. Fortunately, there are a ton of ways to learn Shopify development. First is through the Shopify developers documentation. Of course, it is well made, it is full of thorough explanations and step-by-step guide how to build Shopify apps, themes, or storefront. Now, if you asked me this question, 4 or 5 years ago, I wouldn't recommend the documentation because I had a very bad experience with it, but now it is very, very good. So I'd recommend checking it out. Now, the second option that you have to learn Shopify development, if you're not a big fan of reading, of course, going to youtube.com, search for Shopify development, and you will see a couple of channels that will teach you how to develop a Shopify app or Shopify themes, including me. Learn Shopify development with me and use the coupon code. Legit, that code is working. Try it. And last but not the least, this is the technology that you can use to learn Shopify development faster. And that is AI. I know, I said that, no, but seriously though, by using ChatGPT, Claude, or DeepSeek, you can learn much faster because you can ask questions or explanations if you don't understand anything. Is there a block of code that you don't understand? You can paste it in ChatGPT or Claude, it'll explain it. Yeah, sure, it's not perfect. If you have watched my video, Shopify app development with ChatGPT, you would know that it makes mistakes here and there. But that is okay. It is still usable and can be used to learn Shopify development. I wouldn't really recommend ChatGPT, Claude, or DeepSeek to develop a production app. It's not ready for that yet, but I would recommend it to learn Shopify development. So with that being said, here are my recommended learning paths if you're new to Shopify development. First, learn HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. Now I would like to say this. If you're new to JavaScript and you don't know anything about programming, I would highly recommend learning programming first before HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. Or you can use JavaScript to learn programming. It's okay too. But my point is, you should learn the concepts of programming, writing input and output statements, learning variables, how to make them, learn about functions, or learn about logic statements, writing if statements, looping statements, etc. Learn about them, and once you learn them and understood them, it'll be much easier to understand Shopify Liquid. You gotta trust me on that. And I know it's a lot, but it'll be worth it. And after that, learn HTML and CSS. Learn how to create components like buttons, cards, navigational bars, badges, etc. You can even learn Figma on the side. It's optional, but you can learn it as well. It's a good skill. And then you can integrate JavaScript with it to make it, explode or move from left to right, or, make it big when you hover it. It's all up to you. That's your website. That's your journey, not mine. And after that, finally, learn Shopify. Create a development store and then explore the admin page. Go to the settings page, go to the themes page, go to the products page. Familiarize yourself, basically. You can only call yourself a Shopify developer once you know where to find the password of your Shopify online store. Let me know in the comments below if you know where it is. Now this is where it gets interesting. Now that you know Shopify, HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, you can finally start building your sections. Things that you see on an online store like product cards, badges of product cards, navigational bars of online stores, etc. You can make them dynamic using Shopify Liquid. So learn about Liquid objects, learn about tags and filters. And since you learned the concept of programming first, you can easily understand the concept of tags or objects, how to create an object using assign tag, how to create an if statement using if tag, looping statements, for tags, those kind of things. It's easier to learn them. And once you learn all of that, you're pretty much ready to become a Shopify theme developer. However, if you would like to also learn Shopify app development, the next thing you're gonna need to learn is Shopify's API. Like I said, API stands for Application Programming Interface. So during this time, learn about access scopes, learn about how they authenticate the merchants before they can access your Shopify apps. I know that Shopify CLI will take care of this for you, but it's good to know and you understand them. But most of the time, what you'll be doing with Shopify's API is to do CRUD. Basically create something, read something, update something, and delete something. So you should learn that. And finally, this is usually what I would recommend you to do first, and that is to build a Shopify theme from scratch. Why? Because building a Shopify theme will force you to understand the structure of an online store or a Shopify theme. And once you build your Shopify theme, you will know what is missing in an online store or in a Shopify theme. And it will give you an idea what kind of functionalities are missing in your online store. And I'll build that using Shopify app. Because like I said earlier, Shopify apps are extensions of an online store. So those are my recommendations if you wish to become a Shopify developer. In other words, you need to learn web development first, and then you become a Shopify theme developer, and then you become obsessed with Shopify and find the problems within Shopify, and then you solve those problems using Shopify apps and become a Shopify app developer. That's pretty much the whole timeline of Shopify development. Now, this may sound very discouraging, but there's more to learn, not just the things I mentioned before. You need to learn web frameworks. You need to learn React, Remix, Node.js, pretty much JavaScript. But you also need to learn Git, how to clone, how to pull, how to push. Oh, my light just turned off. Another thing, you need to learn market research if you want to publish your app or your Shopify themes. You need to learn SEO for your Shopify themes. That's very important too. You may also have to learn continuous integration, CI/CD. You need to learn how to deploy your app somewhere. What I'm trying to say to you right now is there are plenty more things to learn, especially if you are a beginner. So I'm gonna be real to you. Don't just learn Shopify development. Learn web development and become a problem solver. Like solve problems, not just in Shopify, but also outside of Shopify, like how to center a div. Before I end this video, I'd like to share this with you all. You see, Shopify is the reason why I make good money, enough money to survive here in France. But at the same time, it's also thanks to my experiences. Because before, I was already a web developer, a game developer, a WordPress developer, I learned PHP. So it was a lot easier for me to learn Shopify. So what I'm trying to say is, I want you to feel the same way. I want you to be successful. This sounds cheesy, but that's the reality of my life right now. So just real talk, if you still want to pursue Shopify development, I highly recommend you learn web development so that you have other options or paths that you can go in case Shopify fails you. I wish you best of luck. If you want to learn more, join us by subscribing to the channel and like this video. It'll help this video get served to others. So yeah, welcome to the Shopify community and I hope to see you next time. Bye.